Hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back, technologists. Welcome back to the podcast. Hope you guys are having an amazing week. I know I've been absent for a little bit. It's just life be lifing sometimes, and work is just super busy because we are in April. And if some of you that work in a trauma hospital, you know, trauma season has freaking started because it is getting warmer. And so that means people are coming out and the traumas just start flying. So let's take care of a little housekeeping before we get into today's episode. So if you guys haven't listened to my prior episodes, there's quite a few things going on for the CT Educator. So of course, CT Educator is on YouTube and I am on all the social platforms. I have come up with some new content for you guys. So on my YouTube channel, I am going to be starting to do some live classes. I believe it's going to be every other Friday, where we're going to call it Tech Tip Fridays. I know I've mentioned this in the beginning, but due to my work schedule, kids, and lots of illnesses before the spring started, I had to kind of postpone that. Starting next Friday, I believe. I'll have to check my calendars, but I will make sure to let you guys know. So make sure you follow me on social, TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube. I will let you know exactly when I will have that live. So it's going to be a YouTube live, and it is Tech Tip Fridays, where I will give you some tech tips to improve your scanning abilities and just to make your exams more optimal, right? Because that is the goal to being a better technologist, is to make sure you continue learning and continue getting that continued education, right? So make sure you follow me on all the socials. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss the latest episodes on the podcast. If you're new here, I'm Karina. I am a registered CT technologist. I have 22 years of experience, and I don't gatekeep when it comes to my knowledge in CT, so that you can be a better technologist. Okay. So also, the door to my programs are open. So this is the plethora of education that I give you. So I have 2 coaching programs. One is for brand new technologists who are looking into transitioning to CT. The second one is you got a couple of years of experience in CT and you are interested in making more money and taking traveling assignments. So those are the 2 programs that I have. So make sure you check out the show notes. Great, awesome programs. I teach you all I need to know as far as being a new technologist, being the go-to. And in the Traveler Boot Camp that I do have, which is my other coaching program, I go ahead and coach you for the next 90 days on how to secure those contracts, what you need to know, how to excel in any assignment that you go ahead and pick up for the next 13 weeks. Doesn't matter where you are. So make sure you check those out. They're awesome programs. Both programs are just amazing, and I put a lot of work and heart and soul into it. So I'm going to teach you everything I need to know about that, okay? So make sure you guys check that out. Everything is in the show notes, so come join my program. Also, if you're looking for an online coach to get your physical fitness and health, my boyfriend is an excellent coach. I will leave a link to his client form that you can go ahead and sign up. You can go ahead and have a consult with him. He will get you not only summer ready, but will get you loving the gym and loving yourself, for the next 12 months. So make sure, if you need some online coaching when it comes to physical fitness, I am a prime example, because I am probably in better shape than I am now in my 40s than I was in my 20s. So, and I personally work out with him all the time, and he's an excellent coach. So there is a link to the form where you can go ahead and get a consult call with him. So make sure you check that out, and you can contact him on any questions or any coaching that you may need. Okay. I also offer a few excellent programs. Let's say if you're more of a self-paced person, you really don't need any coaching. I offer a good CT Basics course. So it's 3 courses in one, plus you get a fabulous ebook, which that ebook I am in the process of revising and updating, and probably going to be a hard copy that you can purchase and have it while you are learning, and you can also take notes. So that is exciting to do. It's a project that has been brought to me, and I'm excited to do it. So I do have the CT Basics course. I also have a Cardiac 101 course for those of you that are more experienced and are starting to learn cardiac. I am going to introduce a couple of new courses. There's one that's going to be on patient centering. The other one is going to be on CT procedures and biopsies. So those are the most requested ones that I have gotten in my DMs, emails, you name it, is a lot of courses as far as how to go down these paths. I've also been asked to do a lot of how-to videos, so you will be seeing that on the YouTube channel and some short tutorials on TikTok. So make sure you follow the channels, okay? Now, let's go ahead and dive into today's episode. So, when it comes to the topic of traveling, in today's episode, we're going to talk about, is being a traveling CT tech right for you? Now, I'm going to share the pros and the cons, and just for my own personal view on when I think it should be a good time for you to explore that market. Now, we know the market in traveling is hot. You see it all the time on social media, techs making this amount of money, that amount of money. Now, I am not discrediting any of those videos because it depends on what state you work in. Of course, it all depends on the cost of living. So, when I say, is it right for you? Let's explore some pros and the cons as far as if life as a traveling CT tech is right for you at this time, and should you transition from being a staff technologist at a permanent job and taking traveling assignments, okay? There's lots of growth and opportunity when it comes to being a traveling tech. So the pros is you get a jump astronomically in pay. You get to see different parts of the country. You get to explore, different hospitals, different types of specialties, and just different paces when it comes to the different contracts that you secure. Okay. There's lots of, agencies that will want to recruit you. So it's always a good rule of thumb to make sure that you do your research, do your homework, because there could be lots of opportunities. They offer excellent packages when it comes to pay, comes to benefits, and those are some of the factors that you have to look at. Okay. Now, traveling is an excellent way to pay off your student loans, especially if you're single, don't have any children, and there's nobody in your care and it's just you. It's an awesome thing to get into. I know quite a few techs that I went to x-ray school with, 20 plus years ago, and they started traveling right after we got out of x-ray school. They're retired now. They're retired. So needless to say, in the 40s, they're retired and enjoying retirement because they made a bulk of money. They paid off everything and now they can just chill and, reap the benefits, right? So, and now it's become more of a hotter market now because the pay scale is starting to be very competitive versus what each hospital is willing to give you. You see how there's a lot of sign-on bonuses to try to recruit techs? It's because techs are leaving departments, they're leaving hospitals, they're leaving permanent positions to go take these traveling positions. And I think it's awesome because you have an opportunity to grow and you get to have different opportunities, anywhere, especially if you're a multimodality tech. You have lots of opportunities to kind of dabble into things when you're traveling. Okay. So there's a huge jump in pay. Like you could see the pay scale. I know it because there's tons of recruiters that contact me every single day, which I am going to make a TikTok video about this, about just the text messages, the emails, the messages on LinkedIn, because of the amount of experience and the amount of types of specialties under that CT umbrella that I do know. Okay. I can tell you it feels really good when you have recruiters constantly calling you because they want to recruit you for assignments. Now, I am currently a staff technologist, okay? And I have thought about doing some traveling assignments. Maybe I might dabble into local, okay? However, I am a mom, I have children, so I have to kind of pick and choose my battles a little bit. So there's a lot of pros when it comes to traveling. Now, where there are pros, there's also cons. So some cons is that, sometimes the stability of traveling is not always there. Now, I know some people who travel and they'll take assignments and then they'll take like 6 months off, but then it's like, can't get another assignment for like another 3 months when they come back. So I've heard of that. So usually what I encourage techs to do is make sure you stay registry somewhere. Make sure you keep those registry jobs because in the event that you can't get, the next assignment, you still got to work, right? So you make sure you stay tip top when it comes to those registry jobs because they do come in handy. Okay. The other thing is I honestly will say this. If you are interested in being a traveler, make sure you have at least 2 years of experience under your belt. I'm going to say that again. Make sure you have 2 years of experience under your belt. So make sure you've been a CT technologist for a couple years. And I'll tell you why. Because when you sign up to take a contract at, let's say, an imaging center, mostly they're hospitals, the problem that you're going to face is that these facilities are going to expect you and have that expectation that you could just sit at the scanner and scan. The only thing that they have to train you on is where to find things, where to find supplies, how to read the protocols, get familiar with it. Make sure you know how much contrast you're going to give because every facility is different. Where to return the patients to the ER if you need to. Where to find the radiologists if they're still in-house, because I know some of our radiologists at the hospital I work at, they work remotely. Make sure you know your policy procedures. Where's the reaction box, crash cart, all the things that you need to know in the department, which they should have a checklist of everything they checked you off as far as training. Now, these facilities are not going to waste time training you on how to do these exams because you should know how to do them. So what I do see is I see a lot of techs that they get 6 months of experience or a year, and then they go to take a traveling assignment. They don't really know anything. They don't know anything. And then they wonder why the facility won't extend their contract. It's because you really didn't meet the expectations. And that is not a dig to anybody. And there have been other folks in our profession, in our community, that have said the same thing. So make sure you have that 2 years of experience because you get to know the scanner, you get to know it, how it operates, how you handle certain situations, the protocols, you kind of hardwire them, after a couple of years. It might still take a little bit of time, but at least like the basic shit that you need to know. So don't make the mistake of, getting into the field, graduate, and think you're going to take a traveling assignment. Does not work that way, and it's not going to work in your favor. Do things correctly. That's always what I tell everybody. Do it correctly so that you have more success and you reach that path of success so that you can take the contracts that you want. You can go ahead and familiarize yourself with how to operate on your own because a lot of these facilities, that is their expectation. So traveling is a really good opportunity for a lot of technologists who have experience, and that's what they want to grow and increase their pay. I think it's excellent, and that's why I've devised a boot camp for 90 days that I can get you up to speed on how to accomplish that, how to make sure you're travel ready, how to make sure that you know what you need to know, and how to really negotiate and secure that first contract so that you're successful. So make sure you check out the show notes and come join my program so I can get you going, okay? So that is all for this episode. Okay. I hope that this was insightful as far as traveling. And hopefully, if you decide you want to do that, make sure you guys, reach for the stars on that. Okay. Because I think it's excellent opportunities. Like our field has a lot of excellent opportunities, a lot of growth, and a lot of things you can do. And I know I'm starting to explore a few things that not only takes me away from patient care because my body is tired, guys. And on top of that, I have young children. So, the patient care aspects sometimes does, wear on you like it has me after 22 years, but there's other things that I am still exploring where I still keep my scanning abilities, but go ahead and give more of my educational expertise. So thank you so much for joining me in this episode. So if you are interested in coaching, I have 2 programs available. So make sure you guys check out the show notes. Follow on social, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Send me an email with any of your questions. I always answer all my DMs. Sometimes it may take me a couple of days, so be patient, okay? Also, if you're looking for a online coach as far as personal training, check out my boyfriend's page and get on a consult call with him. He'll get you in the right direction. That is it for this episode. So thank you so much for joining me in this episode, and I will chat with you guys in the next episode.